Welcome to a story that has haunted investigators, theorists, and true crime enthusiasts for over 6 decades. A tale of 9 experienced hikers, a remote mountain pass, and a night of unimaginable terror that left behind a mystery so profound it continues to defy easy explanation. This is the Dyatlov Pass Incident. It was January of 1959, deep in the heart of the Soviet Union. A group of 10 young, enthusiastic, and highly experienced ski hikers, mostly students from the Ural Polytechnic Institute. They embarked on an ambitious expedition. Their goal, to reach Mount Otorten, a challenging peak in the northern Ural Mountains. Led by 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, the group consisted of 8 men and 2 women. They were seasoned adventurers, well-versed in the harsh realities of winter treks in the Urals. Their journey began with high spirits, documented in diaries and photographs that would later become chilling artifacts of their final days. One member, Yuri Yudin, fell ill early in the trek and was forced to turn back, a decision that, unbeknownst to him, would save his life. The remaining 9 pressed on, heading deeper into the unforgiving wilderness. Their route took them towards Kolatsiakal, a Mansi name meaning dead mountain. On February 1st, they set up their last camp on its eastern slope. The weather was deteriorating. Heavy snowfall, strong winds. They dug a large tent into the snow, preparing for what they expected to be another cold but routine night. They were due to send a telegram back to their sports club by February 12th. When no message arrived, initial concern turned to alarm. By February 20th, a full-scale search and rescue operation was launched. Volunteers, military, and aircraft joined the search. What they discovered on February 26th would forever etch the Dyatlov Pass into the annals of unsolved mysteries. The tent was found, partially collapsed and covered in snow. But it was how it was found that sent shivers down the spines of the rescuers. The tent had been cut open from the inside. Inside, all their belongings were neatly arranged. Boots, warm clothing, equipment, even food laid out as if they were preparing a meal. It was as if the hikers had suddenly, inexplicably, fled in a desperate hurry, leaving everything behind. A trail of footprints, some barefoot, some in socks, some with a single shoe, led away from the tent, down the slope towards a nearby forest about a mile away. After about 500 meters, these tracks were covered by snow, erasing any further clues. The first 2 bodies were found under a large cedar tree at the edge of the forest, near the remains of a small campfire. Yuri Doroshenko and Yuri Krivonishchenko were dressed only in their underwear and pajamas. Their hands showed signs of burns. Krivonishchenko had inexplicably bitten off a piece of his own knuckle. A few days later, 3 more bodies were discovered between the cedar tree and the tent. Igor Dyatlov, Zinaida Kolmogorova, Rustem Slobodin. Their poses suggested they were attempting to return to the tent when they succumbed to the elements. They were more clothed than the first 2, but still inadequately dressed for the brutal sub-zero temperatures. Slobodin had a small crack in his skull, though it wasn't initially deemed fatal. The initial autopsies concluded that these first 5 had died of hypothermia. This led to the theory of paradoxical undressing. Severe hypothermia can cause victims to feel intensely hot and strip off their clothes, ironically, accelerating their demise. But the mystery deepened 2 months later, in May, when the snow finally melted enough to reveal the remaining 4 bodies in a ravine, deeper into the forest. These findings would shatter any simple explanation of hypothermia. Lyudmila Dubinina, Semyon Zolotaryov, Alexander Kolevatov, Nikolai Thibault Brignol. They were found under several meters of snow near a stream. These 4 were better dressed, even wearing clothes seemingly taken from the bodies of the first victims. But their injuries were horrific and unlike anything seen before. Thibault Brignol had a major skull fracture. Zolotaryov and Dubinina suffered severe chest trauma, described by the medical examiner as comparable to injuries sustained in a car crash or from a powerful blast wave. Most disturbingly, Lyudmila Dubinina was missing her tongue, eyes, part of her lips, and some facial tissue. There were no external wounds on these bodies that could explain such internal damage. The Soviet investigation, led by Lev Ivanov, concluded that the deaths were caused by a compelling natural force. The case was abruptly closed. The files were classified, fueling decades of speculation and conspiracy theories. Why did they cut their tent from the inside? Why did they flee into the freezing night barely clothed? What caused the horrific injuries to some of the victims? Injuries that seemed impossible to inflict by human hands or a simple fall. Over the years, countless theories emerged. Some suggested an attack by the indigenous Mansi people, but there was no evidence of other footprints or a struggle. Others pointed to a secret Soviet military experiment, citing reports of strange orange spheres in the sky that night, and traces of radiation found on some of the victims' clothing. However, the radiation levels were low and could be explained by various factors. More outlandish theories involved Yetis, UFOs, or even an internal conflict among the group. But none of these fully explained all the bizarre circumstances. In recent years, a more scientific and plausible theory has gained significant traction: the slab avalanche theory. Researchers, including those from ETH Zurich, revisited the case using advanced computer modeling and snow friction data. Their findings suggest that the hikers, by cutting into the slope to set up their tent, unknowingly created conditions ripe for a delayed slab avalanche. Unlike a typical, fast-moving avalanche, a slab avalanche involves a large block of snow breaking away and sliding slowly. This theory posits that a slab of snow accumulated by katabatic winds, downslope winds, eventually broke off and gently but powerfully slid onto the tent as the hikers slept. This impact, while not necessarily burying them completely, could have caused the severe, non-lethal blunt force trauma observed on some of the victims, forcing them to cut their way out of the tent in a panic, disoriented, injured, and in the dark. They fled down the slope, seeking shelter in the forest. The lack of proper clothing, the extreme cold, and the injuries would have quickly led to hypothermia. The missing eyes and tongue on Dubinina could be attributed to post-mortem scavenging by animals or natural decomposition in the harsh environment. In 2020, the Russian Prosecutor General's office officially concluded that an avalanche was the most likely cause of death, aligning with the slab avalanche theory. They stated that the hikers were forced to leave their tent due to the snow and died of hypothermia. While this theory provides the most coherent explanation for many of the puzzling details, it doesn't entirely extinguish the air of mystery that surrounds the Dyatlov Pass. The human mind craves a clear, definitive answer, especially when faced with such a tragic and bizarre event. The Dyatlov Pass Incident remains a chilling reminder of the raw power of nature and the fragility of human life in extreme environments. It's a story that continues to fascinate, a testament to the enduring allure of the unexplained, and a somber tribute to 9 young adventurers who vanished into the frozen silence of the Ural Mountains. Their legacy lives on, not just in the past that bears their leader's name, but in the countless questions that still echo through the desolate peaks. The truth of Dyatlov Pass remains shrouded in ice and mystery. If you found this journey into the unknown as captivating as I did, please like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most chilling enigmas. Until next time, stay curious.